welcome back to our barn building project. I have no idea what episode this is, but I finally got started. Believe me, starting seems to be the hardest part, but this morning I got the first beam in, which goes from this post to that post, 9 feet up. And there was a bunch of head scratching. I had to measure the building a bunch of times. I did the layout on the top for the floor joists. You can see them down here. And you can see I have the brace pockets already made. Oops, can you see them down there? And one here. And I'm on to the second one. Now there are really only going to be 2 of these in oak, and so there'll be 4 posts in oak and 2 beams in oak, and they're going to support most of the hay load or up in the loft. I'm going to plane this one and start doing the layout and cutting them, so hold on. All right, I got this all planed up and all the bark taken off, and the next thing is to decide, and I've spent this a few minutes off camera deciding what is the top, and it's about 2 feet longer than it has to, so do I cut it all off at one end or both ends? So All right, I finished up this second beam, and I think it looks all right. This is obviously the bottom. I am going to load up one of the 10 by 10 posts out here and start to work on that, but I don't think I'm going to film that. I think I'm going to complete one, and then I'll film me doing one of them. I have 4 to do. But I wanted to start out with something that wasn't the most complicated piece in the building, just to get back into the swing of it. And I used to be all about a pine building, and I think I really like working with the oak. I only think I want to work with it when it's pretty green, because otherwise it would just be way too hard. But this stuff should look impressive just in the barn here. So, good morning. It's rained for the last 2 days, so I'm back out on the barn doing some timber frame stuff. So this is the first oak post, and I finished it a couple days ago, right before the rains. And I didn't film any of it because it was a lot of thinking, and everything had to go in the exact right spot. But I've started on number 2. The first post goes there. This second post is going to go on that there, and then I'll work on these 2 posts here anyways. So I ran the planer over it once, and then I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to film this. So I'm gonna film parts of this because it's gonna take me hours to finish it. So basically, this post, there are hold on. Basically, there are 4 posts here in the center that are oak. 1, 2, 1 on that corner, and 1 here. And those 2 beams span across these 2 posts here. And those are going to hold up the majority of the loft and all the the weight of the hay in the loft, and most of the roof. So they're holding a tremendous amount of weight. Not a tremendous amount, but they're holding a significant amount of weight up from the building. Probably 3/4 of the weight of the building comes down. So that's why I made them in oak, and that's why I made them 10 by 10, so that I've got plenty of meat to work with when I do all the mortising. So I'm gonna I'll film me off and on working on this thing. Hopefully you find it interesting. Looks like I got about half a battery, so you know how long those things last. Not very long. All right, this timber is so heavy that I'm going to try to do as many operations on each face as I can, because flipping it is, yeah, I flip it with the PV right now, but it's just really heavy, and so I want to try and take it easy on my back by flipping it as few times as possible, even though I'll probably flip it 100 times. So anyways, I'm going to make this cut on the end. This is actually the bottom, so I'm going to, before I flip it, I'm going to actually do the cut over here first. right, I'm only working the lower portion of this side because stuff out of here. Kind of, the timber's flipped over, but as you can see, there's a notch in here. So this hole, there's a 2-inch board that comes off of here to this point. So that's what I'm going to get ready to do. I'm going to take a 2-inch board, cut this off on the sawmill down to somewhere in here, which I'm going to figure out right now. All right, I got the mortiser set up. You can see I did plunge cuts here with a skill saw. That will really delineate the sides of the mortise. All right, there's no need to plow out the middle. That's just a waste of time. But just take a chisel and knock that out. And there's a little bit more in there. All right. So the very next step here is to put it on the sawmill and cut this down to a 10x8 up to this this cut right here. So all right, well, there's that that section done. This is done for a couple of reasons. I took this 2-inch piece off to lighten the top of the post, and also it creates a 2-inch shoulder besides the tenon that fits in here. There's a 2-inch shoulder for the beam that runs across that supports the floor, so that's really nice. And the third reason is it gets this dimension down to 8 inches because the posts that go out there, here, and the two on the very end are 8x8s. So I wanted to get this dimension to equal those. So it seems to be working out, and we'll complete the rest of the mortises on this side of this face. All right, that's all the cuts on that side. So I'm going to flip it to this space and run the power planer down it and then mark that out for that layout. So hold on. All right, I've done the layout for this side of the beam, of the post, excuse me. And there's some more cuts. This is the tenon at the top. It's 5 inches tall by 6 by 2. And then on this face, we've got mortise for beam that comes into here. This beam actually helps hold the rafters on the lower part of the roof. And I had to add some wind bracing in here, so the wind bracing for this beam is not on the bottom, it's actually on the top of it, and it goes into this mortise. And this mortise is the wind bracing for the top plate. So unless I drew it all out and showed you, you're just gonna have to see it all go together. Believe me, I've spent hours thinking about this stuff, so hopefully it is gonna work out. So I'll put you back on time lapse and you can see me cut these out, and then we'll go on to the next face. All right, there's that side. Almost that side. I've got a little bit of chiseling in here to do, but basically 2 sides of the post are done. So, all right, this is the 4th side of the post. I've got a little trimming up here to do on the tenon. We got, oh, excuse me, we got 2 mortises to put in for wind braces. And the mortise here, this is for that beam that holds the rafters. And I've got one little cut here also. So all right, I'm done with this timber, and now the brace does fit. Excuse me, the brace does fit. Get in there. There we go. It's an exact match, hopefully, to that one over there. So I'm halfway done with these posts. I have 2 more. I just want to do a quick shot of what this looks like with the tools everywhere and the sawdust piling up. Now I got all of the oak timbers are all cut, and I'm gonna snap my fingers and they're gonna magically go into place. All right, with a snap of my fingers, look what happened. The posts and beams magically jumped into place. So it's not really a bent. I guess you could technically call them a bent a bit. Basically, these H patterns will have, I still have the braces to make and install. And these basically get tipped up right in their places and land on this post, and then that mortise and tenon fit together, and this one stand up. And these basically form the central core of the building. And so I've got some more work to do. I've got to get some more 8x8 beams out and worked up. So, and there's a bunch of wind braces and pegs to make, but doesn't look like much, but when we stand it up, it'll look pretty cool. So that's coming, so hold your breath. All right, we got to try to get this go together. And we're gonna see what happens here. Stuff everywhere. All right, I'm gonna set up the come along, and looks like I'd have to do a little trimming here, and then try to get this to slide in together. All right, it's close. You can see that this joint here is not closed up because that beam's actually got to come down, and it also registers as that there too. So I'm actually gonna go, excuse me, gonna put that side together, and then we're going to have to, we may have to rack it one way or the other to get it to go in place, but it doesn't have a choice. It's going together. Just like that. So the next step is to hold on. The next step is to put a come along at the top and at the bottom and pull them together till I get the same dimension top and the bottom across here. And then I'll get Kristen out here, we'll measure from corner to corner, and if it looks okay, I'll drill and peg it. So wow, this bottom is way far apart. Let's crank that together. All right, that's all cranked together, 178 inches on the outside. And these joints have all, I don't know if you can see them, let's get you closer. These are all looking really nice and tight, especially right there. That looks great. So the next step is I'll go get Kristen and we'll pull a tape measure from corner to corner, and then I'll start drilling and pegging it. So hold on. All right, there's one. I'm just gonna keep going. I'll put you on time lapse and you can watch this because it takes a while to drill all these out. All right, I got this bent together. Now everybody's got a different method. People might say, oh, these joints, they're not tight enough, you know, or why didn't you put it together? Or what do they do? They drill and mark the tenon, take it apart and drill the hole through the tenon a little offset so that supposedly that the pins will pull it together. But this oak is so heavy, and I just am not that picky. It's so overbuilt, and I think that joint is pretty close. That one looks really nice. This looks nice. They all look about the same level of togetherness. So everybody's got their own method. And I'm not building a cathedral, and I think this is so overbuilt that whatever, if there's any little discrepancies in the joinery, I don't see them. So there you have it. Everybody's gonna, it's not a showpiece, it's a horse barn. All right, I am going to do some more drilling. I want to get all of these drilled, as many of these the holes drilled before I erect it, because it's a whole lot easier to pre-drill them while it's on the ground than up in the air. So I'm going to do that, and then spend the rest of the day prepping a bunch of stuff. I got to set up scaffolding and get these bents in the exact locations, and so it's a lot of little prep work to do before tomorrow morning. Hopefully I've got a couple of friends showing up, but I think I can even do it myself if I have to. I'm not, this is the hardest part of the barn, this central core. Once that's done, it's all a cake ride. So, all right, I think that's it for today's video. We'll shoot some video tomorrow of the first of the barn going up in place. So thanks for watching. If you like this content, think about subscribing and ringing the like bell, or clicking on the like bell, or whatever it is, the button. And there you have it. Hopefully my channel will grow if some people like watching this content. All right, too much talking. I'll see you tomorrow.